Hello and welcome to Medical Dialogues, your daily dose of health and medical news. I am Dr. Nandita Mohan and here is what we have for you all from the world of medicine. A rare case of accumulation of this TDP-43 in the neurons of patients with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. A dual case-control study of 10 autopsied patients with the sporadic amyotrophic lateral sclerosis were confirmed to have phosphorylated transactive response DNA binding protein 43 positive axons in the intramuscular nerve bundles. The findings of the study are published in the JAMA Open Network, where the study comprised of two parts, a post-mortem case control study and a retrospective population-based cohort study with a minimum of 1 year of follow-up. The post-mortem study, it included patients with the sporadic ALS with TDP-43 pathology and control patients with non-ALS disease. It was then seen that a total of 10 patients with the autopsy-confirmed sporadic ALS, they exhibited axonal phosphorylated TDP-43 positive accumulations in the intramuscular nerve bundles. Among the 114 patients, 62.3% exhibited intramuscular nerve bundles. While among those who exhibited the phosphorylated transactive response DNA binding protein 43 positive intramuscular nerve bundles, 33 patients were later diagnosed with the condition. However, those without the evident nerve bundles, 3 were later diagnosed with ALS. The researchers hence concluded that axonal phosphorylated transactive response DNA binding protein 43 accumulations may be characteristic for patients with ALS and that it can be considered a novel diagnostic biomarker for such a condition. The effects of screen time and gadget use on children and their families. In a cluster randomized clinical trial published in the JAMA Pediatrics, which was designed to limit the recreational screen use, resulted in an increase in the children's non-sedentary time. The study included a total of 89 families, that was 181 children and 164 adults, that were recruited based on a population-based survey on screen media habits in families with children. The responding parent had to list self-reported recreational screen use. In addition, the parent also had to be a full-time employed or enrolled in full-time education. The families were randomly assigned to the screen media reduction intervention and they were randomly even assigned to the control group, were instructed to carry on as their usual routine. Among the 89 randomized families, the intervention group had 45 of them and control group had 44 families. 83 children in the intervention group were compliant to the screen use reduction during the intervention protocol. The mean change in the leisure non-sedentary activity in the intervention group was 44.8 minutes per day and in the control group was only 1 minute per day. No significant difference between group mean differences were observed between the intervention and the control group for the electroencephalography-based sleep outcomes. Therefore, it was observed that the recreational screen media reduction intervention did result in a substantial increase in the children's engagement in physical activity. The large effect suggested that the high levels of recreational screen media use seen in many children these days should be a public health concern. Several dietary options that help in weight loss strategy for a healthier life. Increasing dietary protein under calorie restriction improves the quality of food and may be another cause of decreased lean body mass, an article published in the Obesity Journal. Higher protein consumption during weight reduction is related to better health outcomes. However, it is unknown if this is due to an improved food quality as such. As a result, how changes in self-selected protein consumption during calorie restriction affected the food quality and lean body mass was investigated. A total of 207 people with either overweight or obesity were studied before and during the 6th month of calorie restriction. Dual energy X-ray absorptiometry was used to determine the body composition. The healthy eating index was used to measure the diet quality in two groups, that was one with higher protein intake and the other one was a lower protein intake. The study found that participants shed around 5% of their body weight and the higher healthy eating index score in the higher protein group compared to the lower group was linked to higher total protein and green vegetable intake and lower refined grain and added sugar intake. The individuals who were either overweight or obese enhanced the effectiveness of their diet more when they consumed more protein than when they consumed less amount of protein in their regular diet. The participants who also self-selected a diet with higher protein consumption during calorie restriction as opposed to lower intake also reduced their intake of low or zero protein items that included refined grains or added sugar, and even increased their intake of green vegetables. Therefore, a modestly greater protein consumption during calorie restriction may enhance the nutritional quality and can be a strategy for reducing your lean body mass loss during weight reduction. The benefits of eggs. While there is a conflicting evidence as to whether egg consumption is beneficial or even harmful to your heart health, researchers have shown how moderate egg consumption can increase the amount of heart-healthy metabolites in the blood. The findings suggest that eating up to 1 egg per day may help lower the risk of developing a cardiovascular disease. A 2018 study that was published in the journal Heart, which included approximately 500,000 adults in China, it found that those who ate eggs daily, about 1 egg per day, had a substantially lower risk of developing a heart disease or a stroke than those who ate eggs less frequently. Now, to better understand this relationship, the authors carried out a population-based study exploring how egg consumption affects the markers of cardiovascular health in the blood. A total of around 5,000 participants, of whom 3,400 had a cardiovascular disease, were included. They used a technique called the targeted nuclear magnetic resonance to measure 225 metabolites in plasma samples that was taken from the participants' blood. Of these metabolites, they identified 24 that were associated with self-reported levels of egg consumption. Their analysis showed that individuals who ate a moderate amount of eggs had higher levels of a protein in their blood, which was called the apolipoprotein A1, a building block of high-density lipoprotein, which is also called as the good lipoprotein. Now, these individuals especially had more large HDL molecules in their blood, which did help clear the cholesterol from the blood vessels and thereby protect against blockages that can lead to heart attacks or stroke. The researchers further identified 14 metabolites that are linked to heart disease, and they found that participants who ate fewer eggs had lower levels of beneficial metabolites and higher levels of harmful ones in their blood compared to those who ate eggs more regularly. Together, the results did provide a potential explanation for how eating a moderate amount of egg can help protect against heart diseases. That's all for today. Stay tuned to Medical Dialogues for latest updates.
Never miss a medical update from Medical Dialogues. Like, subscribe, and press the bell icon.